Hey guys, welcome back. Thorough Capping. I want to do a quick review, a recap of the Laurel today, off of the grid that I submitted last night, and then I want to jump right into Saratoga analysis for tomorrow. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to stay on the grid here and just focus on the winning prices. In race number 1, we had the 7-1-6. Now, there was one scratch in this race. That was the 2-horse. Even though we didn't have the 2, it watered down the pools a little bit because now we're looking at a 6-horse race instead of a 7. And if you think about it, at 10-20, 4-1, that was pretty good value on a 6-horse field. The 6-horse did win the race, and he was a 2-1 morning line too, and he was our third choice. And I only went 3 deep in that race as far as selections go. Race number 2, we had 4-1-3-7 as our plays. The 7 actually won the race. Paid $12.40. Okay, so we got 5-1 value on that 7, and the 7 was not a selection last night on the video. Transparency here. The 2 scratched out of the race. The 2 was our 4th choice yesterday, 4-1-3-2, and when that 2 scratched out, when I reevaluated things a little bit, I was in the air between the 6 and the 7, and I actually put the 7 as my 4th choice simply because of the next out 1 and the fact that he was showing up in the target ability column better than the 6 was, even though the 6 had 1/10 of a point more in the ratings. Not that it mattered, but at the same time we did get a $12.40 winner off of that 7. Race number 3, we had a 3-6-1. Again, we only had a 6-horse field. All 6 of them ran. 3-6-1. We did end up beating the favorite in that race, even though he only went off at 9-2. The 6-horse won the race. It came out 6-3-1-2. So we nailed the exacta and try in that race, even though it was chalky. Race 4 was the first above value winner that we got out of our 4 selections. The 6-horse did win this race. It paid $18.40. It went off at 8-1. Obviously, 6-7-4-1. We did have all 3, the try, the exacta, and the superfecta in this race. So if you want to go back and check and see what the payouts were, like I said, I want to make only about 10% of this video based on the recap, and the other 80% on the analysis for Saratoga tomorrow. Race number 5. Race number 5, we had 5-1-3. There was a scratch. So really, there was only 4 contenders that I felt in that race. 3, really. We had the 5-1-3. We did, the exacta did get busted up by the 7. The 7-horse did finish second, but we did get the winner. And the winner was the obvious 5 here. And he was also the obvious chalky. I think he only paid like $4.40 to win. Race number 6 and 7. Race number 6, it's in bold. Second choice, our second choice, 7 wins the race. Went off at 3-1, almost 4-1, almost 7-2 actually. Paid $8.80. There was scratches in this race. There were 4 of them, and the 9-horse was one of our selections originally, and I had to figure out who to put in there, and I went with the 3 because of the next highest TC rating. The 10-horse actually got in there second for the exacta, so it was 7, 10, 11, 1. We did have 3 of the 4, but that really doesn't help much at all. And the 7th and the 8th is kind of where we swung and missed. We had the 3-2 and the 7. We had the 7 and the 3, but we didn't have the winner here, the 1-horse. The 1-horse ended up paying like $67, I think, to win. It was 30-something to 1. And in the last race, we didn't find the 2 in our grid. 2-horse won, came out 2-6-5-3. So overall, not a bad showing for the grids, especially at a track that I don't play that very often. I'm not very familiar with, Laurel Park. But let's move on to Saratoga for tomorrow. And this is where I will start mixing in some views of the past performances. Okay, guys, race 1 and 2 were 2-year-old maiden special weights, both of the races, predominantly first-time starters. So I'm not even going to go there with that race. I'm going to start out race number 3. Race number 3 is 7 furlongs. It's on the main track. And the one thing that we got to keep an eye out for tomorrow is, tomorrow is a big day at Saratoga. It's Whitney Day. We have the Grade 1 Whitney. We have the test. And we also have a few others that are actually on the turf. And we have to be mindful that they did take races off the turf late today at Saratoga. And the weather's supposed to be good tomorrow, but I have a feeling that the earlier turf races, such as race number 4, which is just I don't know if it's an optional claim or an allowance. I have a feeling, yeah, it's an allowance. I have a feeling they've done it in the past, take the earlier turf races off the turf just to preserve that grass for the bigger races later on. But what I did was I just handicapped it based on the turf, and we'll take a look at that when we get to it. But let's check out race number 3. Race number 3, the 8-horse standing out as my target and ability. It's also got the best target Briz, and he's got my top TC rating. And what I did was I just based my top 4 on TC ratings. I didn't try to dive too much into the grid over here. I just kept it as is, the way it was. So we have an 8, 6, 7, 4 as our top 4 plays. And I just kind of I'm just going to kind of let the ratings speak for themselves tomorrow. And just, again, looking for value. Let's take a look at the 8, 6, 7, 4. I mean, the 4 horse is a 10-1 morning line. So we're probably going to get value out of him. And I have a feeling tomorrow's going to be a day of prices. So hopefully we land on them. 6 horse, 3-1 morning line. 7, 8-1 morning line. This guy's still still trying for his first win. Amin Castillo. And then the 8 is the 2-1 morning line favorite, Manny Franco for Englehart. So 8, 6, 7, 4 is how we're going in race 3. Race 4 is the first turf race that I talked about, that you may see pulled off the turf. There is one also eligible in this race, and that's the 11 horse. And I struck him out. And if I'm playing tomorrow, if I'm around while these races are going on, if this gets taken off the turf, I'll probably just pass the race. But let's take a look at it for right now. The 3 horse is my standout for the most part on the matrix side, and therefore my top TC rating getter. 3-1-2-9 on the ratings for Saratoga 4, and I did make notes on here of the races that are on turf. But if we look at those 3-1-7-4, the 3 horse, Dylan Davis last weekend was like red hot. I think he had 3 wins, and they were all on non-favorites. I mean, one of them I think might have paid $30-some to win. So I mean, he's figuring on top for us tomorrow. Noble Huntsman with Davis, and the other ones were 1-2-9. So we have the 1 horse 15-1 morning line. The 2 Irad at 5-1 morning line, which is probably going to get bet down. And then I think the 9 is the morning line favorite with Joel at 5-2 for Clement. So again, hopefully we get some value in those races, and or that race, and we land on the horse that can beat the favorite. Okay, race number 5. We have 4-8-7-5. That's back on the dirt. This is a 95,000 allowance. 4-8-7-5 are our plays here. We have co-targets, 1 and a 4, but yet the 1 grabs the ability as well. Top point getter is the 4, and our selections are 4, 1, 5, and 2. So if we look at the race here, the 1 horse is one of the value plays at 8-1. The 2 horse 7-2. The 4 6-1. So we keep an eye out there, and the 6 horse is 9-2 morning line. So that could shift either way. But again, Ortiz on there never usually helps the value in a good way. Oh no, actually 4-1-5-2. We got on the 5. 5, the other Ortiz, 4-1 morning line. Okay, race number 6. Here's another turf race. But this is the start of the bigger races. So I got to imagine this one's going to stay on the turf. As long as it doesn't rain there tomorrow. The 5.5 furlong Troy, Grade 3 Troy. And it's an 8-horse field. And right now I'm looking at the 4. And no, I'm sorry. This is race 7, correct? There's my one mistake. Right now, this is the 6th. We jumped ahead. I'm sorry. 4875 in race 5. Oh, jeez, I'm a mess. 4875 in race 5. Santana. Okay, we had that right. 48. Oh, okay. There we go. The 8-horse. Interesting because, again, it's another Dylan Davis horse. He is figuring for us. 20-1 morning line. Off of being not the favorite, apparently, because there's no asterisk there, but even money last out at $16,000. And he's moving up today to a $95,000 allowance, and that's probably why they have him at 20-1 morning line. But off his last pace line, he looks pretty good, and his numbers show for us as well. So we had the 4, 8, 7, 5. So the 7-horse, another price, 8-1. Gaffleone for Michael Maker. And then the 5 was the Ortiz, the other Ortiz horse. All right, now let's get on track here and move to the 6th. Race 6, 8-horse field, 5.5 furlong sprint on the grass, 4152. Okay, again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time digging into this today. You guys can see it. You can pause if you want. You can see where the numbers are coming from. But we have a 415 and the 2. I'm using the 2. No, it's 4153. Okay, I was going to say, am I using the 2 for any particular reason? Okay, 4153 are our top 4 plays. And we take a look at them. The 4-horse is the 3-5 favorite with Tyler for Brad Cox. The 5 is in that mix, 8-1 morning line. The 1, there's our bomb. So again, I think tomorrow we're going to have prices. I'm not going to say it's going to be in this race. I'm not going to say, I don't know what race it's going to be in, but I'm really going to focus on the value of our selections and, you know, hope to steal a few races. 4-1, 5-3. So the 5 is another Dylan Davis, 8-1. And then the 3-horse is another price horse. Okay. And these odds are all, these morning lines are all higher because of the 3-5 on Caravel. So we'll see what happens there. Race number 7. Also on the turf. And I don't know if I have that identified on the turf or not, but yeah, I do. 3152 are our plays in race 7. If you look at the TC ratings here, 3152. And the 3 horses, 5-2 morning line. Irad for Danny Gargan. The 1 is 7-2. The 5, I think, yeah, the 5 could be our only value in this race at 9-2 morning line, because the 2 horse now is a 7-2 morning line. So we may not get a lot of value in that race unless. Now here's one of those. Here's my famous question mark here. We have a few races tomorrow where we do have the international shippers coming over, and I can't get any information out of this. I mean, apparently the morning line guy couldn't either. He has him at 12-1, and he is coming off a string of wins and a close second. But I don't know what these races over here, just handicap, 102,000 handicap over in Ireland. There's nothing I can do with this horse, so I have him at a question mark. I didn't toss him. Or I did toss him. Did I toss him? I think I did. No. I left him on there as a question mark, but at the same time, really nothing I can do with him. Okay, race number 8. Race number 8 is a grade 1 test. That is the 7 furlong race on the main track. We have 7-8-4-6 as our top point getters here. The 7 at 99. The 8, 95-4, 94-8, 92-7. 7-8-4-6. Let's take a look at them real quick. We are bypassing the one horse here in this race, who is the favorite. But again, I'm just going based on what I have, what my numbers show me. And let me make sure I'm doing this right. Yeah, I mean the one horse, 87, 87. Yep, Exceeder, 87, 87. So pretty mischievous. I don't know. You know, we could eat crow, or I could be eating crow after this race because I'm looking at these numbers. But at the same time, I'm not looking at morning lines. I'm looking based on what my data tells me, because I know going in I'm not going to hit every single race to begin with. So if my data tells me that this horse here is not the top based on my numbers, then if I get beat by a horse that might even be 7-5 or 6-5 tomorrow, then so be it. But we're looking at 7, 8, 4, 6 in this race. Now the 4 is 15-1. 7-2. Irad's the second choice. Okay, he's figuring the best for me in this race. And then we have 2-1 morning line on Maple Leaf Mel, the 8 horse. So the fact that Pretty Mischievous isn't figuring for me, yeah, it does sound a little crazy, but at the same time, the 2 horses that one of the 2 may be even higher odds or lower odds than him are both figuring for me as well. So we had 7, 8, 4, 6, and then the 4th was the 6 horse with Velasquez, which he might be the 4 and the 6 may be the 2 value plays in that race. So see what happens. Race number 9. We have the 9-2-5-6. This is the this is the marathon race, mile 3/16, and this was a little bit of a bear to handicap, and I came out with the, again, 9-2-5-6 as far as point getters go. We did have another one of these international shippers here that I couldn't do anything with, but if we look at 9-2-5-6 in this race, 2 is 7-2 morning line, 5 is the 2-1 morning line, 6 is 4-1, and the 9 with Irad is actually 12-1 morning line, figuring best for us right now, point-wise. So just to check that out again, the 9 horse at 86.9 is figuring tops. Now, I'm not saying we're going to get 12-1 odds on him. He is only coming off a maiden special weight race, whereas some of these horses, most of these horses, are coming off either allowances or stakes. But sometimes that's where you find the value. And then the 10th race is the Whitney. 6 horses. Everybody's going to be leaning toward Cody's Wish. 1-2 morning line. 9 for his 13 lifetime. And he's 2, 4, 6. He's won his last 6 races and 9 of his last 10. So I mean, he's the horse to beat, obviously. But I think there are a few horses in this race that can beat him. And it's simply because of the distance. We're looking at 1 mile and 1/8 today. And if you look at Cody's Wish here, he's figuring strong for me, except for the speed cumulative. And the speed cumulative is what takes into consideration the distance, his top distance. So he has ran 1 mile and 1/8 before, but his top number has been a 93. Now, that may have been his first race of his career, second race of his career, before he actually bloomed into the horse he is right now. But at the same time, he's still showing as my top rating, TC rating. But I also showing with the 2, 1, and the 5 as well. 2 is Charge It. And I think he's low on the morning line too. Or he's 5-1 morning line. The 1 horse is 9-2 Zandon with Rosario. And then the 5 is the 6-1 Irad horse, White Abario. So, I mean, we'll see what happens in that race. And number 11, race 11, is the final race and it's at 149.5 allowance, 7 furlongs. And the standout in this race for me is the 10. And I have 10, 6, 7, 5 as the plays. And we'll see where the values potentially. 5 is 9-2. The 6 horse, there's a 30-1 morning line. Maybe we can get a bomb to end the card. The 7 is the 2-1 morning line favorite. And the 10 horse is the 7-2 second choice on the morning line. All right, so, I mean, I know that this was a little, this analysis was a little bit different than the ones before. I just spent I didn't spend a whole lot of time breaking down what's going on over here in the matrix side, but I just wanted to make sure I got you guys the numbers that I'm going to be focusing on, and we'll see how it goes tomorrow. All right, thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.